you were sleeping, Donald Trump ordered military attacks on Venezuela. I'm up super early. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just finding out what took place. And when I'm scrolling through and looking at the videos that are being posted by the Venezuelans, I'm reminded of this.
As the president said, we just had a positive meeting with President Trump. We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war.
He promises peace, not war. And with their help, Donald Trump went on to win the presidency. And at his inauguration, this is what he said.
I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay. And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately. Our armed forces will be freed to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies. Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire.
He wants his legacy to be president of peace, a unifier. I don't know. Y'all tell me, since he assumed office, has he been a unifier? Has he been a president of peace? And before you respond, I want to remind you, Mexico, Canada, Greenland / Denmark. Has he been a unifier? Has he been a president of peace? When I think about how Donald Trump has treated our allies, Canada, Mexico, Greenland, Denmark, now Venezuela, I don't know if Venezuela is considered an ally or not, but now Venezuela, ask Nigeria. Yeah, when I think about all of that, he is a president of violence, a president of chaos, not peace. He's a president of cruelty. He's a president of antagonization. He is a racist president. He is divisive. He's all of those things. President of peace, he is not. Now, in the minimal amount of scrolling that I did, I see a lot of people talking about how Donald Trump is breaking the law because he did not get congressional approval to militarily attack Venezuela. I want to remind you that you all voted for a man that the Supreme Court gave broad immunity. It may be against the law, but Donald Trump will never be held criminally accountable for it. And because everybody is talking about wartime powers, or Donald Trump didn't get congressional approval, or Donald Trump is breaking the law, I needed some help to dig a little deeper, to get a modicum of understanding of this. And so I had to go over to Alfred, and I explained to Alfred that Donald Trump has given the order to militarily attack Venezuela, and a lot of people are saying that it's against the law, it's criminal behavior, he didn't get congressional approval. What are your thoughts about that? And this is what Alfred told me. So what does that mean legally? That being Donald Trump attacking Venezuela. A lot of constitutional and military law experts are already saying this move is likely unconstitutional and illegal under domestic war powers laws. But here's the catch. The current Supreme Court has said presidents have broad immunity from criminal prosecution for their official acts. And giving orders to the military is the textbook example of an official act. That makes it very hard to criminally charge Trump just for ordering these strikes, even if Congress was completely cut out. Alfred goes on to say, now what about the people carrying out the orders, right? Because Donald Trump is the only one that has broad immunity. The people working underneath Donald Trump, the military personnel, they have no such protection. Under U.S. law and the laws of war, military personnel and civilian officials can face criminal liability only if they commit separate crimes. Things like war crimes, deliberately targeting civilians, or intentionally hitting purely civilian infrastructure with no legitimate military objective. In other words, our system mostly punishes how a war is fought, not the decision to start an unauthorized war in the first place. So in my opinion, that means if the military personnel who is over there on the ground, because there are reports that the Marines are on the grounds over in Venezuela. So while they're over there doing whatever it is that they were instructed to do from Donald Trump, if they divert from that and let's just say they grape a woman or they rob a store or they harass and bully and physically harm the civilians over in Venezuela, they could be brought up on charges for that because that's outside of the order that Donald Trump gave. That's how I am interpreting that. If you are interpreting that differently, put it down. Sorry, y'all, I got cut off. Mama called. She's up early, seeing what's going on and she's talking about it. I told her I got to call her back. I'm talking to my peeps. So like I said, those acts, those criminal acts would be outside of the orders that Donald Trump gave. And therefore, they can be criminally responsible for those criminal acts. Doing what Donald Trump told them to do, yeah, they're safe. And so Alfred ends our conversation with this, our lecture series, his lecture series to me, his educational lecture series to me on this situation with saying, so to be clear, this looks like a serious abuse of war powers and a direct challenge to Congress's constitutional role. But under the current Supreme Court and U.S. statutes, actually holding Trump criminally responsible for the decision itself is extremely difficult. The real exposure for now is for anyone who turns unlawful orders into unlawful actions on the ground. And so there it is. There's going to be tons of discussions happening over the next few days on mainstream news media, on independent news, from content creators like myself. Everybody is going to have an opinion, and mostly everyone is going to mention how what Donald Trump is doing is unlawful because he didn't get congressional approval. I just want to add this to the conversation. Donald Trump was given broad immunity from the Supreme Court, and that broad immunity will protect Donald Trump. And whatever order that he gave, if military personnel stayed within that scope, within that order, more than likely they will be fine as well. I didn't vote for him. And him being given broad immunity was one of the reasons why I knew that he would be a menace unchecked. One of the main reasons why I didn't vote for Donald Trump. CNN hooked up with a journalist over there in Venezuela, and she gave a firsthand account of what was happening from her eyes.
Yeah, well, we woke up early in Caracas with the sound of planes passing by across the city, and then detonations in several areas. We need to remember that Caracas is a valley, so the sound is clear around the city. Many people reporting on social media, and of course we are confirming with friends and family and myself. I could hear detonation explosions in several moments. They are not constant. They are they keep happening across as long as the hours are passing by. But right now, I just heard one, for example, but we don't know exactly the information what is going on, because we keep following and looking for information coming from the Maduro government, and so far they have remained silent. For example, right now I have the television on the state channel, and so far they have not reported any situation. This is just people waking up in the city of Caracas with the sound of these detonations. And now I can hear power fire. It is different from the sounds that I heard before. I heard before like bomb detonations, and now I can hear like guns in the city. We don't know yet what is happening exactly, as I said, but the reports are that there are key institutions, key areas in the city, like the La Carlota Airport in the main city of Caracas, then La Guaira, people from that place also reporting that, and in the area of the west of Caracas, where is located the presidential palace, Miraflores.
Wow. So when you said you just heard this, you like literally as you were speaking to us, you just heard another explosion?
Yeah. I'm nearby of a window, and I kept looking. As I said, some areas there has electricity. I have electricity right now. I can see clearly some buildings. People, of course, waking up and trying to find some information, especially. Well, the people are not trying not to, go to the streets properly, but they are waking up right now with this situation in the main capital of Venezuela.
Well, I don't know what time that telephone call took place, but Donald Trump has come out and spoken on the situation. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. The operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Y'all's president. I won't be watching because whatever explanation they give, I don't believe it. I don't believe that Venezuela was pumping fentanyl into the United States. I don't believe that. And then they moved over to booger sugar, I believe. I believe they mentioned they switched it from fentanyl to booger sugar, the white powder, right? I don't believe that. I don't believe that the fishing boats were carrying the drugs and trying to come into the United States. I don't believe any of that. I understand that their president, Maduro, is an illegitimate dictator, but most of us believe that Donald Trump, who has the title of President of the United States, a lot of us believes that he's illegitimate. He's an illegitimate dictator here in the United States. So I get all of that. So I won't be wasting my energy to tune into whatever lies Donald Trump and his administration are going to tell at 11 a.m. I'll check out Ben Mycelis. I'll check out Status Cool. I'll check them out and get their recaps of whatever it is that Donald Trump and his administration are going to say, because they'll provide the breakdown on the lies. Maduro may be an illegitimate dictating president in Venezuela, but I don't see how that's any of our business. I don't see how any of that is our business and why we are involved in it and why we are breaking the law to get involved with it. The only thing I can see is that Venezuela has something that Donald Trump and the people around him wants personally. It's the same thing with Nigeria. Why are we involved with what's going on over in Nigeria? All I can see is that Nigeria has something that Donald Trump and the people around him wants personally. Minerals, oils, whatever it is. They're using the United States and our resources to enrich themselves by any means necessary. And y'all voted him into office. I have no idea what's going to happen from this point forward, but I see calls of impeachment. Child, people been calling for him to be impeached from the time he took the oath of office. Yeah, remember, Republicans have the House and they have the Senate. He will not be impeached. He won't be impeached. The only way that there would be an impeachment is if the Democrats get the majority of the House and the Senate. I don't know about you, but I'm motivated to get into that voting booth in November of 2026. I'm motivated. Are you motivated? Let me know down in the comment section.